Hello, thank you for stopping to watch my video today. I want to teach as many U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchise owners, U.S. professionals, U.S. trades, anyone who's the people who get 1099, and also self-employed, how to stop paying federal and state income taxes. So few people have ever heard of this. The Spendthrift Trust is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. It comes from England way back when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads, thought he was going to be a swell guy and start the Church of England so he could divorce them. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went back to the 12th century to the Magna Carta and said, "Oh, no, 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 King Henry VIII can't do this. It's contract law that came to the colonies while we were still part of England." The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that's going to turn 365 years old in 2026. We just had our 250th birthday. Our current tax structure that we're under went into effect February of 1913 in the super rich families of 1913. The Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. Hi, my name is Sally Gimmon, and I'm known as a tax saving champion. On April 4th of 2020, my CPA called me to say congratulations. He said I had made so much money in 2019, my tax bracket went from 22% to 24%, and all of a sudden I owed $94,000 in taxes. Yeah, it's the middle of COVID. I wholesale 7 bank-owned properties nationwide, and everything I was doing for my real estate got shut down. His solution, I had $50,000 saved, and his solution was set up an appointment with him, get on a payment plan, pay interest and penalties. My solution, research how the rich save taxes. I had read an article on the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. It took me 5 months until September of 2020 to start both my business and my beneficial spendthrift trusts. I'm a real estate investor. The beneficial trust helps all U.S. investors stop paying taxes on profits. You'll no longer pay short-term capital gains. If you wholesale, fix and flip, do auction houses, tax liens, you sell crypto, you're an options trader, or you're a Forex investor. Long-term capital gains are a year or more and are either 15 or 20% when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or a baseball card. You'll stop paying interest income taxes, again, between 10% to 37%, whatever your tax bracket is. And it affects you if you're a passive investor, if you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I personally have notes where I'm the paper on the house. People pay me their mortgage, creative financing, seller financing, or you're a Forex investor. Forex investors, you get double tax. You need the beneficial spendthrift trust. You'll stop paying dividend income taxes if you're in the stock market investing. You're a day trader. You are a futures trader. You're a commodities trader, or you're living on dividends. You'll stop paying rental income taxes. Yes, you can move a property with depreciation schedule into the trust. Yes, you can move a property with cost averaging into the trust. So if you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 doors, maybe you're multifamily real estate, apartment real estate, commercial real estate, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage, you'll stop paying rental income taxes. And finally, you'll stop paying royalty income taxes if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist. Maybe you have NFTs, copyrights, patents, or intellectual property. This is the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Paul Benson wrote 5 different trusts to save specific taxes. You're not tax-free. I live in Wade County. Our food tax is 2%, unless you buy bad food. You buy soda pop, chips, candy, ice cream, or anything else, it's 7.2%. I still pay gas tax. I still pay takeout tax. But all 5 spendthrift trusts that he wrote will save you in 4 very important ways. Number 1, you stop paying federal and state income taxes year after year, generation after generation, and leave a legacy. Number 2, it's on the federal level, and all your information is kept completely private. It will not hold any LLCs, S Corps, or C Corps. 40% of those get sued every year because that information is public information. Anyone can go online to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission of your state and research LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps, either by your name or by the company's name. Number three, talking about lawsuits. I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Think of how much time, anxiety, worry, and money you save. Number four, if you're over 65 and on Medicare, it stops the IRMAA surcharge on parts B and D of Medicare. They say that 3.5 million Americans in the United States are on paying the surcharge. Seniors are paying the surcharge. For 2026, the numbers are if you're single and make more than $109,000, or if you're married and make more than $218,000, you're paying the surcharge month after month after month after month, year after year after year after year. This is why you need to know about the Spendthrift Trust. We just talked about the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Now I'm going to show you, if I get to it, the Business Spendthrift Trust. This is for all business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, professionals, people in trades, people who are salespeople, or self-employed. If you make at least $100,000 a year in 1099 income, I guarantee you will save all federal and state income taxes. If you have seen this picture before, we just got word first week of May that we got approved that since how Paul Benson wrote the Business Spendthrift Trust, it's not on assets, it's on the escrow account. Now you don't have to only save 90% on federal taxes. So when I contacted this client of mine, they had started in 2025. They were saving only 90% on federal taxes. When I told them if they're still making $900,000 in 2026, they will save $274,729. This is their money. They can buy a second car wash. They can pay off their mortgage. They can buy a new vehicle. They can take their family on a well-deserved vacation. They have one child in college and another child in high school. They can start college funds. They can give to their favorite charity, or they can save for retirement. Now, they started this back in 2025. So so if they started it in July of 2026, they would save $22,894 in July, again in August, again in September, again in October, again in November, and finally in December. Now, if they were going to start this this year in July of 2026, they would file a 1040 tax return from January 1st until, we're going to make this up till July 10th. And then they would start filing a 1041 tax return from July 11th until December 31st. When you become a private client of the law firm that Paul Benson started 77 years ago, we have over 800,000, let me get that right, 800,000 clients. Not a single trust has ever been audited. Unfortunately, Paul Benson passed away. Now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm. If you get questioned by the IRS, let the law firm know and they'll defend you free of charge. In 78 years, it's happened one time only. It was a beneficial spendthrift trust. A senior IRS agent went down to Texas where the law firm is, spent 5 hours in the boardroom, approved it, and then he sent an unsolicited letter back to Benson Financial Trust. You need a copy of that. Please leave me your email and I will send that to you. He retired as a senior IRS agent. He had worked for the IRS for 27 years. And then he went back through all the people he spoke to tell them about the business or beneficial spendthrift trust. Again, this is a couple that are living in Ohio with a car wash. They say that whenever it snows, this is when they get the most business. Now, if you want to find out more about the trust, I'm sure you do, set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me at www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. I'm not selling you anything. I'm going to find out how you file your taxes. There's 4 ways to file. Single's the most expensive way. Head of household, you're divorced with kids 18 or younger in your household. Married filing separately, and then married filing jointly, the cheapest way. And then I'm going to find out what state you live in. If you want to find out more information, I have a free masterclass at www.sallygimmon.com. That's the Great Discovery. When you go out there, you'll register as a free learner. When you get to my class, Save U.S. Taxes Legally, you can translate into 165 different languages. I'm not trying to crow, but I helped a husband and wife whose first language is Korean. I get my Portuguese and my Spanish mixed up, so don't expect me to know Korean. But they had their adult son who speaks English better than I do on the Zoom with them. They had all their tax paperwork. You'll also get two pages of case law and examples of clients saving thousands and thousands of dollars. My goal is to help as many you stop sharing. My goal is to help as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. professionals, U.S. people in trades. I don't care if you're a plumber, an electrician, a mechanic, maybe you're a salesperson making 1099, or you're self-employed. I have to apologize. I cannot help W-2 income earners save taxes. When you get your paycheck on Friday, your taxes are taken out before you get your paycheck. But Google says 35% of W-2 income earners have a side hustle. That was me back in 2019, working as a Medicare broker, and I actually wholesale for property before I got fired. Whole different story. Again, set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me and see how much you could be saving month after month, year after year, and leave a legacy. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day.